I've always said the United Nations has got tremendous potential, has not used it. So I've always said the United Nations has great potential.
U.S. President Donald Trump shows some love for the United Nations while heading to the U.S. ahead of going to the UAE for the first ever trilateral talk with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Zelenskyy after attending the World Economic Forum of 2026 in Davos, Switzerland. While on Air Force One, Trump addressed the media and praised UN for its potential, which is ironic as just a day before he seemed to disregard the United Nations.
It's in theory for life, but I'm not sure I want that. But it's going to do great work with Gaza and maybe other things, it could be beyond Gaza. And we'll work in terms of the with the United Nations, who I've always said the United Nations has great potential, but they have not lived up to them. And I say 8 wars and I never spoke to them. You'd think I would have spoken to them a lot. But the United Nations has great potential. I think working with the Board of Peace is going to be a good thing for the United Nations. I've always said the United Nations has got tremendous potential, has not used it. But there's tremendous potential in the United Nations. And you have some great people at the United Nations. But so far it hasn't. On the 8 wars that I ended, I never spoke to the United Nations about any of them. And you would think that I should have. You would think they could have done those 8 wars, but they couldn't have. And they tried, I guess, in some of them, but they didn't try hard enough. But there's tremendous potential with the United Nations. And I think the combination of the Board of Peace with the kind of people we have here, coupled with the United Nations, can be something very, very unique for the world. It's for the world. This isn't United States. This is for the world.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net.
Congratulations, President Trump. The charter is now in full force, and the Board of Peace is now an official international organization.